Welcome, yogis. Thank you for joining me. My name is Adrien. We're going to spend a little bit of time working into our digestive health. There's some great yoga poses that can help if you're feeling bloated or if you're feeling like you kind of need to move things along, if things are feeling a little bit stuck. And it's also just in general really good to focus on our digestive health all around. This is also good because I feel like a lot of times we don't give enough relaxation into the abdominals. We work on stretching so many of our muscles and we forget those abdominals work very hard for us and need a break as well. So just for this practice today, we're going to need a rolled up blanket. If you don't have a rolled up blanket, you can use a beach towel or something along those lines. Not completely necessary. I'll offer an option if you don't have this handy. And you're welcome to go ahead and start right away with sitting up onto that beach towel if you would like, or to that blanket. We're just going to start in a comfortable seated position. And this would be in cross-legged. If cross-legged just does not work for you, that's okay. You can have the legs out straight and long, just with a little modification with our twist. So first I'm going to take an inhale, reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Grow nice and tall here for just a moment. And then palms meet above the head and come into heart center. Taking the hands together, we're going to take them back up towards the ceiling, reaching up nice and tall. And then part the hands, let the hands come down towards the earth. Inhale, flip the palms, take the gaze up. And exhale, bring the hands back to heart center. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, part the hands. We're going to take them out into this nice big T shape. And then I'm going to cross that left hand first, coming over to the right knee. And then that right hand is going to cross over to the opposite side. So right hand is on top. I'm going to tuck the chin in towards the chest. Come into this little cave here for a moment. Round into the upper back and just take a few breaths. We are focusing on digestive health, but also why not get some shoulder stretches in here too? Release the legs, but keep the arms crossed and just bring the hands to the tops of the shoulder heads. Keep that chin tucked in and those elbows forward. And then as we unwind, we're going to just take those elbows up towards the ceiling, reaching up here. And then we're just going to burst free, take the hands up towards the ceiling, and we're going to find a twist. Now taking that right hand over to the left knee, that left hand behind, and come into a twist. Twists are so good to get into that digestive health. And then we're going to take that back hand. I'm going to keep the hand on the right, that right hand exactly where it is. I'm going to take that back hand and I'm going to cross it over. Find that X shape once again. Dive the chin in towards the chest. Take a couple breaths here. And then keeping the cross of those arms, we're just going to take the hands to the tops of the shoulder heads. Very mindfully start to unwind from the back and bring those elbows up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to burst free and we're going to find that twist now to the opposite side, taking that left hand to the outside of the right leg, right hand behind, and gaze over the back shoulder. So in twists, the reason why they're good for our digestive health is we're actually cutting off the blood flow for a moment in that twist. And then when we release, all that fresh blood comes into that area. It's like a nice little wash. And then we're just going to unwind, come back around to center. This time, reach the fingertips up, and then let the hands come down to the knees. Now we're going to come into our soupy grinds. I'm going to take that chest over to the right knee, follow around through center, over to that left knee, a little tip back onto that tailbone just a little bit, or that sit bone, and then just complete that rounding again. So this circular movement, so good, really good actually to start to wake up through our hips and kind of feel into that low back. But like I said, like we are focusing on that digestive health, we're doing a little bit of help by stirring into our gut here, just kind of helping aid that digestion. It's just a few more times, leading with the chest as it come around, maybe brushing the belly across the tops of the thighs. And this can be done with the legs out front as well. It's also so great to kind of be dipping into this energy in our lower part of our body. I always kind of think about coming down into that energy, dipping into that gravity well of our belly, and then redistributing the energy through the rest of the body. The next time that we come upright, we're just switching directions, coming around to that other side. I always use the hands to kind of press into that inner thigh, finding a little bit more space here. Just a few more times in this direction. And one more nice, deep, generous circle here. And then when we come up to that tall spine, just pause for a moment. Just notice if there's any changes going on in the body. And gently, eyes open, we're going to come around into our child's pose. And this is where we're going to use that rolled up blanket. So adjusting the knees underneath, excuse me, just completely lost that there. We're going into our child's pose. I almost went into tabletop. It's just so common. We're actually going to take this blanket and I'm going to bring it right here at the top, the very top of my thighs. I'm going to unroll mine just slightly because it was pretty big and bulky, and you might need to do the same adjustment with yours. I want this rolled up blanket really snuggled right there into the belly. And then I'm just going to come down, and I might need to make an adjustment, either making another roll or unrolling it a little bit more. I want it seated in the belly. I don't want it in the rib cage here. And then I'm just going to come into this fold. You can bring the hands onto the earth if that feels better, or you can bring them back towards the heels. And what I'm looking for is the sensation, and you'll be surprised how quickly the sensation comes up. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we don't really work into this area a whole lot. We do a lot of work in this area, but we don't do a lot of focus on relaxing and nourishing this area. So you can kind of find this little jogging movement back and forth. And as I mentioned before, if you don't have a blanket handy, you can use fists here. So you can take your fists and just bring them into the belly. And just do a little massage of the fists. They're resting on the top of the thigh. And we're just kind of massaging little circular movements into that gut. And don't be surprised if you have like a little bit of nausea come up with this. We've got a lot of toxins in the belly. And so some things come up in the mind, of course, when we work in this area. Give it a few more moments here. Maybe a little shift of the weight side to side, or maybe a little use of that fist in the belly a little bit more. Just being mindful. We don't want to grind too tight here or anything. We just really want to be nourishing and nurturing to this area. Just taking another moment. Now we're going to rise up very gently out of this child's pose, removing that prop or taking the fists out. I'm going to reutilize this rolled up blanket here. I'm going to actually come down onto the belly and take this blanket underneath, just right above the hips. So again, I don't want this in my ribs. I want this right in that belly area. And then you can kind of just come into a Sphinx pose. Just do a little shift of the hips, a little side to side. So good to realize like, wow, I didn't realize I was feeling kind of tight here. Maybe from some workouts. And then you can continue to kind of stay up and just press the belly into the space. Or you can come down, create a little pillow for the forehead with the backs of the hands. Turn the toes inward and the heels out. And then just have that prop there. Just doing a little myofascial release into the belly. So good for you. And then just take some time feeling the breath, feeling the belly against that prop. Again, you can use a fist if that's what you prefer, if that's the only thing that you have handy. You can take those hands and ball them up right underneath the belly. Slow everything down. And just notice that rise and fall of the belly against that prop or against the hands. We're here for just a few breaths. And if you're not already raised, we're just going to raise up for a moment. We're just going to move that prop out of the way. We're going to come around onto our back side. So coming on to our back side. Then we're going to find a recline child's pose here. So bring the knees into the chest and squeeze the knees in. Just enjoying the knees squeezed in towards the belly. And then if you'd like, you can find a couple circular movements here. Holding on to the knees and just drawing small circles on the ceiling in one direction. Giving a little nod to that sacral area, to our kidney meridian. And then around to the other side if you're drawing those circles. And squeeze the knees in once again. We keep that right knee squeezed in towards the chest, and that left leg is going to elongate to the bottom of the mat. Once again, squeeze the knee in. Now holding on to this knee with that left hand, I'm going to bring it over to the left side and come into a twist. Take that right arm out into a T or a cactus shape, trying to keep the shoulders on the earth. And if it feels okay with the neck, take a gaze over that shoulder. Spending just a few moments, just like we started our practice, ending it in a nice twist here. Mindfully supporting the body, coming back around to that back side. Squeeze both knees into the chest. And this time we'll take that right leg all the way to the base of the mat. Using both hands, gently squeeze that left knee in. Another way to aid digestion is by giving a little bit of pressure into those internal organs with this squeeze. Now capturing the knee with that right hand, I'm going to guide that knee over to the right side. Left hand is going to come out into a T or a cactus shape. And spend just a few moments. Another great thing for digestion is to send that breath deep down into the belly. And then gently coming back around to center. One more time, one more reset of spine, squeeze the knees in. And then go ahead and release the clasp of the legs. Take the legs out long. Coming into a Shavasana. If you have some time, just stay here as long as possible. Just feeling the effects of your practice, washing over the body. Or if you have a short amount of time, you can go ahead and come on back up to seated and just take a moment to bow to yourself and thank yourself for showing up today. I want to thank you for joining me today in this short practice focusing on digestion. Please let me know how this went for you in the comments down below. And if you'd like to see more of these short videos, let me know that as well. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Namaste.